Good afternoon, everybody. This is Otis,
And I'm Jerry.
and this is Two Guys Catching Up on Football. Well, folks, we've gotten a few more views as the season has gone
Oh, I
along.
know. I saw
Yeah,
that.
which has been pretty exciting. I think we went from 3, and I think we had 20. So
I think our high was 20, so that's okay. You
yeah,
got to
yeah.
start somewhere. Right.
Yeah. So it was it's been great this year. I've had a really good time, catching up with you on football and stuff
But-
and everything. And so this was I thought about this today because pretty much everything is gonna be decided here pretty soon before
Yeah, I
before they
guess
get to the final game.
they'll announce the schedule tonight. What games are at what time and
Right.
what day and all that. Yeah.
Right. And the
So,
only thing that needs to be decided tonight is whether Miami or Buffalo will be the second seed.
it's still
That,
kind of
that's the only,
it's a pretty big game though. I think Miami wins, they host. It's a rematch. If Buffalo wins, I can't even remember. I think Buffalo hosts the Steelers and Miami goes somewhere or hosts. I can't even
Miami
remember.
goes somewhere, and Miami will go to the sixth spot if they lose.
Okay.
Buffalo's in the
So,
sixth spot right
oh,
now.
then
They
Miami.
will they
Wow.
will just switch
Yeah.
places.
Then
That's
Miami
all.
would go to Kansas City and Tyreek would go home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So, but I don't know if the teams are any good. It shouldn't matter whether they have to go on the road or not,
Yeah.
because
No, I know. Yeah.
no matter what happens,
Yeah. I've
they just
already
got to
seen
win.
people already are saying, "Oh boy, the Browns, I don't want to face CJ Stroud." Well, really, because if you do happen to get through CJ Stroud, guess who's next? Maybe Mahomes, Lamar, Josh Allen. It's all not you don't want to face anybody. It's all,
It
it's
doesn't
all a
matter.
test now. There's no easy
Yeah,
way out.
you
Yeah.
still got to go and win, and it
Yeah.
doesn't matter. Now
Yeah.
the one thing that's going to be interesting this year is the fact that Kansas City will not be at home for the championship game
Oh, thank goodness. Yeah.
unless the 1 seed and the 2 seed
Yeah,
both lose.
yeah. They'll only be home for the first game. Odds are, right? Yeah.
Odds are they'll only be home for the first game.
Yeah.
If they win and the 2 seed, whoever that is, they win, then they'll face the 2 seed in their place.
Yeah.
And then it'll just be a matter of, do they have to go to the Ravens, or do the Ravens do their
Oh,
playoff
yeah, that's
fade?
true too. Yeah.
And if the Ravens do their playoff fade and they beat the 2 seed, well, guess what? Somebody's got to come to them.
Yeah.
So that's about the only thing. So, but what I was going to say, this was one that we probably should have did for Christmas. Our wish list to Santa Claus for players, teams, or coaches. So now I've given this a ton of thought since earlier today,
Uh-huh.
and my number one thing. So, dear Santa, I wish Kyler Murray could grow to 6'2".
I don't think Santa's going to get you that one. And plus, what are we going to call one of our favorite nicknames is the Smurf. That's Kyler Murray. If he's 6'2", what are we going to call him? He's not the
I don't
Smurf
know.
anymore. Maybe
Well,
he's Papa Smurf. I don't know. Or maybe there
yeah,
was
I
a
was going
tall
to say
Smurf.
we could call him Papa Smurf
Yeah, Papa.
because
I'm
he's
not
six
even sure
two.
if there was a tall Smurf, but that's
No, there
fine.
was not.
Yeah, okay.
But that is my number one wish for for Santa for this coming football season. So that was my number
Now
one.
that's for next year, right?
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
it's yeah for next year. Santa has sometime between now and August to grant a little more height to Kyler, so that when they break camp next year, is all of a sudden he's a big strapping 6'2", 6'3" guy. So that and wouldn't Arizona be happy about that?
Yeah, no
So
kidding. Yeah.
yeah, if
You
he
know,
didn't.
I'm going to throw out just a quick one. This is just a quick thought. It wasn't. I'm going to wish that, although it's one that's not going to happen most likely either, but it looks like Eberflus is going to stay in Chicago. I wish the
Oh,
Bears would get a different coach in there, and that
yeah,
the Bears would be somewhat better or just better coach. This is coming from a Browns fan, even. But
yeah,
I mean, I know what suffering's like. They seem to be perpetually spinning their wheels now. So they've
yeah,
kind of entered Browns territory as they're just directionless. Uh,
yeah. Uh, um, to actually hop on board that, dear Santa, I wish Justin Fields gets a better situation to be in next year. I hope I
you
hope.
might not have seen. How about Fields in Seattle next year?
Only thing with that, I'm not a big fan of
I know you don't like Carroll.
yeah,
It's like,
I'm
yeah.
not a big fan of Carroll, and I like Justin Fields, and I don't want to have to dislike him because he plays for
I've
Seattle.
never met a Niners fan that does like Pete Carroll. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's
yeah.
not going to
So
happen.
I where I want to see Justin Fields go would be Atlanta
Yeah,
or Pittsburgh.
yeah.
I'd like to go and see
That
him
would
go
be interesting.
if he can go one of those two places. That's what I would like to see, which ties into another, actually, two of my wishes.
Yeah.
One of my wishes, and I think it actually I think Santa fulfilled it today. I said, Dear Santa, I wish Arthur Smith had a better personality. And I think,
Well,
and it just so happens, it's pretty funny because I was typing these on my phone and stuff. And and then they showed the handshake, or well, the coaches meeting at midfield. I thought Arthur Smith was gonna deck him.
he almost, I thought so too. He did drop a big FU to him. I saw, you
Yes,
could
he
hear that.
did.
Yeah.
Yes, he did. And
Yeah.
I was sitting there. I'm sitting on my in my recliner, laughing and clapping. It's like, way to go, Santa!
I
Way to
texted you.
go!
I do. I texted you. My only thing is, when you put in backups, I don't know if it was a backup. I'm going to assume it was a backup at quarterback. It's the last game of the year. They're playing for a job. I'm I'm kind of okay with it in a way if it's a backup guy. That's if Derek Carr was in there and he's handing off to Alvin Kamara and the game's basically over, it's a big difference to me. But I don't know. I wouldn't like it if I was the coach either, but I kind of get it at the same time.
Well,
Yeah.
Dennis Allen, who this is another wish that I have for Santa. Dear Santa, I wish the Saints would get a new coach. Dennis Allen goes to a press conference and said, "Well, the players in the huddle overruled because he had sent in for a
Oh, I
kneel
don't.
down,
Yeah.
and he said the players in the huddle overruled me because they wanted Jamal Williams played with the Lions last year, and he led the league in touchdowns last year, and he hadn't played much this year, and so he said the players overruled him and wanted to give Jamal Williams a chance to score this year. Okay, if
Yeah.
the players did, that's fine, but you're the head coach
Right.
and you stand behind them.
Yeah.
I mean, you just do. Even if that's what they did, you don't publicly tell people that's what they did. You don't throw them under the bus.
Yeah, no, yeah,
So he really needs to be gone. Because if the players overruled him, then they don't have any respect for him anyway.
right. True. Good
So,
point.
so regardless of the situation, if they overruled him and went on their own, they don't have respect for him anyway. So he needs to be gone. And if he's going to throw the players under the bus, they definitely are not going to have respect for him going forward. He
Yeah.
needs to be gone.
I
So,
just don't. I'm not going to buy it on that one. I think that that Allen is basically doing a Sean Payton with that one with the media afterwards. How Sean Payton was saying, I never yelled at Russ. I was yelling at the ref." No, we know you were yelling at Russ.
there wasn't a referee.
Yeah,
There
come
wasn't a
on.
referee in the
Yeah,
picture
so
for
I
him.
mean, it's a good. Allen had a good, whatever, 15, 20 minutes to think about what he wanted to come up with, and he probably came up with something that's fairly decent, but as an alibi, but it's kind of
Yeah,
flimsy.
but
Yeah,
it's not right to do that to your team. He
yeah.
he really.
How many? Actually, this is the first year Derek Carr was in New Orleans, right?
Yes.
Uh, I can't think of a team. They might be the most disappointing team the last 2 or 3 years of what's underachieving. They might
Yes.
get the underachiever award. Yeah.
But that goes to the head coach.
No, you're right. Yeah.
That
No, it's
goes to
true.
the head coach.
Yeah.
Just like it went to Brandon Staley.
Oh, it's
Uh,
true. And we know what happened to him. Yeah.
yeah. Tomorrow is the big day where coaches and general managers get fired, and I think we talked about it at the beginning of the year that there would probably be at least 7 head coaches that got fired. Um,
Oh, hold
so
on.
far,
Hold on
so
just a second, Otis.
Oh, okay. So while Jerry is gone, because his cat wants to get in, as we've said beforehand, this is live. So
Uh,
whatever happens, happens. And that's the
oh,
way
boy,
it
that
goes.
was fast. But
Yeah,
I
that's
knew
the
it.
way.
I called it. And I was correct on that one. I knew he would
Yeah,
come home when I'm doing this.
yeah. So far, well, we have 2 head coaches that need to be hired for San
Or
Diego
L.A.
for the Chargers, and who's the
Well,
other one?
the Raiders have their interim, so
Yeah,
I think
the Chargers and the Raiders were the 2. Was there somebody else?
well, no, we already no,
Carolina.
yeah, Carolina's the other, and then we figure Ron Rivera uh,
We
with the
figure Rivera's
Raiders.
gonna be.
Uh, I just I think the Raiders interim coach Pierce has done a good job. My fear for Raiders fans is that Mark Davis is, of course, going to do something, and what that is, who knows? Yeah,
Yeah, probably.
he might bring in Chip Kelly. Who knows what he's going to do? He's going to have somebody on his
Probably
list.
so, or bring in Lincoln Riley, or
Yeah,
and
you don't know what he's got cooking. Yeah.
now I did read today that Jim Harbaugh
Hmm.
was on the Raiders staff when was Rich. He was the offensive line coach for a long time for the Raiders, and he was head coach for a little while. What was his name? But
Rich,
that
back in what 20 years ago or so.
yeah,
I
I
can
want
think of
to.
the guy's name. Rich. It's like
Well,
Bianca or something like that.
well, no. Rich Gannon was the quarterback,
But
and
the last name is something like Bianca, isn't
I
it?
forget now.
Oh,
Yeah, now you got to look it up. Okay. But he was on the staff. I don't know what capacity because they didn't say. So he had ties to the Raiders, and of course,
Rich
um,
Bisaccia.
right? No, it wasn't then
Oh,
because
you're talking way back. Yeah.
I'm talking further back because Rich Gannon was the quarterback, I think, and so
Oh, that might have been who they traded for Gruden.
Yeah, something like that. And so I can't remember who it was. I saw it. Where did I see it? I saw it on an article. Um, now I got to see if I can find it. Um,
Oh
okay,
no.
so we got to keep talking though, because
Yeah, it
otherwise,
wasn't Rich. It might have been. Wow, before Gruden came, it was Jack Del Rio.
okay, it was before Del Rio.
Tony Sperano, Dennis Allen, Hugh
Oh,
Jackson, one of our favorite coaches, who
who?
who went that year. Hugh Jackson, his only
Oh,
year as head coach, went 8-8 with Campbell as his quarterback. Right.
yeah, no. He's the only he's
Tom
the only
Cable,
coach.
Lane Kiffin was the head coach there. Jeez.
I'm trying to remember who it was.
Bill Callahan, John
That's
Gruden.
it. It wasn't Rich. It was Bill Callahan.
Oh, okay.
He was on the staff then.
Yeah, Callahan. Well, Callahan's the line coach for the Browns now.
Oh, is he? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
and
He
he
was a
does.
long.
I think Bill Callahan is probably the best line coach in the NFL.
Oh
Myself.
yeah,
Yeah.
he's not a good head coach,
Nope.
but again,
Yeah.
we've kind of covered that. A lot
Yeah.
of guys are good coordinators.
Yeah.
Like I hope Brandon Staley gets a job because he is a really good defensive coordinator.
Yeah.
He's just not a good head coach,
No.
and so so it's just kind of. But Ron Rivera is another one.
He'll
Well, who's
probably be
gonna not
gone.
be there? I hope you're wrong, and I hope Eberflus is going to be gone. I hope so.
I keep
Um,
saying that they're going to keep him. Yeah.
Bill Belichick will probably be gone. He
Yeah, I can
probably
see that.
will.
I
Yeah.
keep
So
thinking. In fact, watching today's Titans Jags game, I kept thinking Vrabel to me is a pretty easy pick to go to New England if he wanted the job. Yeah.
yeah, but it just kind of depends. I
Yeah.
think it depends on if Kraft tells Vrabel he can be the general manager and the head coach just like Belichick was. Um, he might do it. But I
Right.
don't I don't know for sure cuz he's going into a situation where he doesn't have a quarterback. And so
Yeah.
and he has a situation
Well,
in Tennessee where Will Levis did some really good stuff, but is he really the guy? So do you
yeah, I
want
don't
to
know.
trade one bad quarterback situation for another one?
And
Now
we,
New England will have a higher pick.
yeah.
So
And
there's
Tennessee won't have Henry back. We kind of established that
Yeah, I
today.
kind of think so.
Although
Unless
I
they
thought it was
tag
a
him.
little odd, but makes
Yeah,
sense, I guess.
unless they tag him and they ask for too much for him so he can't go somewhere else.
Right.
And so but yeah, I think he's 31, I think. And I think he sees the fact that once running backs get over 30, they don't want to pay you.
No.
Heck, they don't want to pay the ones that are under 30.
Yeah.
Barkley is young,
Yeah,
and they
I
didn't
would
want
take
to, and they didn't
Barkley.
want
Yeah.
to pay him. Yeah,
I would want
yeah,
Barkley over Henry at this stage. Sure.
yeah. So,
Yeah.
um, oh, I got a couple of more wishes though.
Uh huh.
I got to tell you about my number. Well, this isn't my number one wish, but dear Santa, I wish Mike Tomlin gets a quarterback who's better than average. If
Uh,
if he
well, why? He had, speaking as a Browns fan, he had Roethlisberger, a Hall of Famer, for a long time. So why does he need an
and they
average?
would have and they would have good records. He
Oh, yeah.
wasn't fighting just to get above 500. Mason Rudolph is not the answer.
No, I hope that they think he is, though.
Yeah, he's not the answer.
I think
And
that I saw yesterday that somebody said they're still Pickett's still their guy. They're just kind of letting him, I guess, rest. Well, actually, now that they're in the playoff, that's a real good question. Who's their starting quarterback?
it'll be Rudolph because he has
That's
a hot
true.
hand. It'll
Well,
be
then why
him.
are you messing around with Pickett's next year? I don't know.
Well, they have him under contract.
Yeah, true.
He's on a rookie contract.
Yeah.
And so I think they want to give him a chance to prove himself because it can go either way. Because he can prove that
So
he's the guy, he can also prove that he's not the guy.
so do
And
we
so,
kind of know for sure, right? I think if I'm thinking right, the Steelers will go either to Miami or to Buffalo. That's a
yes,
given, isn't
yes,
it?
because they'll go to either Miami or
Yeah.
Buffalo. So they'll know tonight. So and you know what the truth is with Tomlin and the Steelers, oh, they just showed the
Yeah.
Rams are going to beat the 49ers. So this was the first time McVay has beaten Shanahan in the regular season.
Oh, really?
Yeah, yeah,
I do
yeah.
think it's so. Steelers at Miami or Buffalo. I would take Miami or Buffalo, but the Steelers would probably keep it fairly close. Is my
I'm
guess.
gonna go. I'm gonna. Tomlin's record in the playoffs are not good.
Yeah.
So I would have to go with whoever he's going against because Mason Rudolph's not the answer,
No.
and Kenny Pickett is not the answer, and so I w- I would love to see Justin Fields go to Pittsburgh to see just how good that offense really could be with a competent quarterback. I know you were not a big Justin Fields fan to begin
No,
with,
he's
but
played
he's
better
proven
towards the
himself.
end of the year for sure.
Yeah, he's proven himself
The
that
guy
that
I
he.
got, I texted, I've never really, only a few times. Jordan Love, I think is going to be another good one for them.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, he seems
It
to.
hasn't shown.
Which I
They
mean, give
haven't
me a
shown
break.
yet.
So the Packers are going to go from Favre to Rodgers to Love. That's three potentially good quarterbacks in a row.
Oh, sure,
What a
sure.
luxury!
The other two have proven themselves.
Absolutely, yeah.
He still has to prove
Oh,
himself.
absolutely. He's not in their
But
league yet, but
on my part, I'm happy about the fact that he got Green Bay to the playoffs and Rodgers could not. As,
yeah, no, I like that too. We're not.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. And
Yeah,
then
that needs to be. People need to make sound bites on that one. That
right,
you know
and
what?
then
They didn't need Rodgers.
right, exactly.
Yeah, they
And,
didn't
and
need.
then Rodgers' first year he was 6-10, and Love's first year he was better.
Now I'm going
So
to go to one of our heated debates towards the end of the year, and that's Coach of the Year. Is it Kevin Stefanski, who's had to win with four quarterbacks and did win? Is it D'Amico Ryans, who won the division now with the Texans? I'm still leaning towards Stefanski,
but
but
you're a homer.
I did see this. I looked at some stuff. I did some homework.
No, you're a
1967.
homer. Not that you did
Oh,
homework. You're a
oh.
homer.
1967. There were two coaches of the year, same year, Shula and George Allen.
Yeah.
So compromise. Give it to both of them.
Stefanski is not going to get it
I do
because
think he will.
he just won it in 2020.
Yeah.
D'Amico Ryans took a team that if they had won 4 games this year, he might have still had an opportunity to be coach of the year. That's
Yeah.
how bad they were in the last
It's
couple of
true.
years.
Yeah, it's
They
true.
won 10 games and the division.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I will say that. So if I'm going, I don't know if this is. I don't think it fits into a conspiracy. So I did see while looking up the 1967 stat, Shula is the all-time leader, most Coach of the Year honors. It's only four. You would think it's more than that. Belichick hasn't even won it 4 times.
no, I think Belichick won it 3 times.
Yeah. So, anyways, to your note on Stefanski, he just won it 4 years ago, basically 2020
Right.
season. So he would have two in 5 seasons, basically, or 4 seasons. So that's a bit of a stretch.
you've
That's
wanted this guy fired for years, and now you're trying to get
that's
him
a
coach
different
of the year.
season. Did
What?
yeah, I can't even. I tell you, even if the Browns lose next week, I will probably not say fire Stefanski.
But you
It's
said that you said
Oh, I've said it multiple times last year,
multiple times
and
ever since
probably a
I
few times earlier this year.
ever since I've known you, and ever since he was hired as the Cleveland coach. He doesn't know what he's doing. They need to fire him. He doesn't call a good game. Does any of this ring a bell? And now all of a sudden he should be coach of the year. And another thing, I understand Stefanski won with four different quarterbacks, but the rest of the team was really, really good, and everyone expected them to be in the playoffs to begin with.
I
Because
don't know if that's well.
no, they did
Maybe that's
because
true.
Deshaun Watson wasn't. Nobody was
I,
planning on him being
I
hurt,
don't think
and they kind
everybody
of.
thought that they would make the
Oh
playoffs this
yeah,
year. No, I
yeah.
don't know about
Oh
that.
yeah. They said it was going to be a big difference having Deshaun Watson back there.
I don't know. Okay, I'm moving on to the next one. Quick, MVP for the season.
Ooh, I don't know. I would
On that one,
Lamar. No, I would go Lamar Jackson.
I gotta go Lamar. If it's
Yeah,
not Lamar, I'm going with McCaffrey.
yeah, yeah. Those are the two that meant the most. The only reason Lamar might not get it
Hmm.
is because his stats this year were not as good as his stats when he won it. And
Well,
they tend, I don't know why the writers tend to do that. Because like, to be honest, when Michael Jordan played, he really should have won most valuable player every year he was in the NBA.
true.
But he was being compared to himself. Same thing
Yeah,
with LeBron. You take what, four different teams to the NBA Finals, and you're in the NBA Finals 10 years in a row. Um, you should win Most Valuable Player, but he was being compared to himself.
true.
So writers do that. So if they compare Lamar's stats to his stats when he won, and he was a unanimous MVP, and I think he's the only one who's ever
Yeah,
been unanimous.
right.
If they compared the stats from this year to that year, that would be the only reason he didn't. And McCaffrey um, has great stats. I
Yeah.
mean, the 49ers are not um, where they are
Oh,
without him.
he's had an incredible season. There's no question.
Yeah. So okay,
And
my
rookie of the year, we I think agree it's got to be Stroud.
it's got to be
Yeah,
Stroud.
I agree on that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's Michael tried to call me. I
Oh,
didn't
okay,
hear.
Mike.
Hey, Michael.
Hey,
Hey, so you're on with me and Jerry, on with two guys talking about football, and I guess it's two guys and a brother, and his two guys and one of his brothers talking about football. So, what's your question for us?
oh, okay. With both, guess it's San Francisco and Baltimore having a bye week. Um, do you do you still see Detroit going all the way, and can Cleveland get past the Texans? And if they do, would they make it all the way?
All right, that was actually two questions, but that's okay. So, so anyway,
Well,
number one, Detroit is not going to get to the Super Bowl
no, I do.
unless something happens.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. Maybe the Lions do make it to the NFC Championship in San Francisco, but they lose that one.
Yeah, I don't see them. They've got too many players that are young and haven't been through the
I,
fire of something like that yet, and
True.
their coach hasn't been
No,
through the fire or
well,
something like
I
that.
don't even know. Michael might know better than us, but I did see something about their tight end getting hurt,
Yes, I saw
Laporta,
that today.
in a game
Laporta's
that
out
meant
there.
nothing to them, and Campbell played him and paid the price. That's
Yeah.
why you don't play those
Yeah,
guys.
so and Campbell just likes to gamble so much that I'm not so sure that works during the playoffs like it does during the regular season. To me there's a lot
He-
to, and Jared Goff, if he has to play somewhere other than Detroit, he's kind of a turnover machine.
True.
So he throws a lot of picks, and quite a few of them get returned for touchdowns. Now I think he's the only player that they have who's not only been in the playoffs but and been to a Super Bowl, and I think he's the only one.
That's probably true.
Oh, wait a minute. Dan Campbell was on the Falcons staff when they went to the
With the
Super Bowl
Patriots.
against New England.
Okay.
So I take that back. I'm sorry. I think he was on the staff
I do think
when they did that.
I'm going
So,
to
but
jump to. I'm jumping to Michael's second half of his question.
okay. Well, his
Browns.
second
I
question,
think
yeah,
the Browns can beat the Texans. They just did recently, and Flacco threw for 300 something yards, and Cooper had a record day for the Browns, 260 yards receiving. I think that they can beat the Texans. Can the Browns go to the Super Bowl? I don't think so this year.
yeah,
I just don't see it. I
yeah.
mean, as much as Michael, I think there's a lot of people that would love to see Browns versus Lions, including myself. But I think it would be the Apocalypse Bowl, and it
Yeah,
would be.
yeah.
I think
I
it would
don't.
be really, really cool to see. It'd be old school, but I just don't see it happening.
Yeah, I don't either. Yeah. So, well, thanks, bro, for
Yeah,
calling in,
I do.
and appreciate it. You're in on the last show of the year,
Yeah.
so
I'm gonna go I'm gonna take. I would go right now. Ravens versus Niners, and I'm taking the Niners this time.
oh, that's the kiss of death.
Oh,
So
come on!
anyway,
The
so yeah,
Niners have the
oh,
Niners' path to the Super Bowl should be easy, and I
oh,
think
that
that
is.
they turn it around in the bowl and finally get it again.
Oh, that is the kiss of death.
What?
So, Jerry, I know you didn't hear this question. Michael said, "Are we going to be back next year?" Well, Michael, my answer is this: we will be back, God willing, and the creek don't rise.
Yeah.
Now, Jerry, my grandmother used to say that all the time. Still to this day, don't know what it means, but I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go with that. All right, Michael. Talk to you soon. Talk to you
Otis,
soon,
I
buddy.
gotta go. You gotta give us your
Love you.
Who's your Super Bowl pick?
Um, I don't know. I
Oh,
want to see the 49ers win,
I think
but
they will.
it'll still be. I still don't trust Shanahan, so it's just kind of. It's just
Man,
kind of me. It's just kind of me, and I would love to. I would love to trust him, but I don't, and so it's just
I
kind of.
don't see anybody else in the NF. The Eagles, no. I don't see anybody in the NFC challenging the Niners. The Ravens, they're beatable, I think. And like you said, they do their annual playoff fade.
Yeah,
But who else is going to get in there? I really don't think the Browns can do it. At some point, their luck is going to run out.
yeah.
God
So,
willing, it's not Buffalo or Kansas City. So maybe it'll
well,
be Miami and Niners rematch.
your pick are the Niners, and so okay. I got to pick someone. I'm gonna go with the Niners. I got to
Yeah,
pick
I think the
somebody.
Niners are their best. I think they're a good pick to win it all.
So I'm gonna pick somebody. I'm still not gonna watch their games because I'm still emotionally not invested in them. So,
If it's Niners and Browns, we can hop on a flight to Vegas and spend the weekend in the Super Bowl.
yeah. I think we should do that because I think
That'd be a hoot, actually. That'd be fun.
the tickets would clear out my retirement account because of the tickets and stuff.
True.
But
Probably the hotel, too.
it's only money. I ain't living forever, so it's like So anyway, all right, buddy. Well, to those 20 people that have watched us, hey, we love it. Thank you so much for watching us. This is our last show for the year. We're just doing regular season, and as I said, as my grandma Carrie used to say, if God is willing and the creek don't rise, and if anybody knows what that means, you can put it into the comments and tell me. I loved her. She was a great woman.
I am I'm going West Coast for tomorrow night. Washington wins the title.
Oh, that'll be good. Yeah, that's right. We forgot. National championship game is tomorrow. We almost forgot that. I'm gonna go with Washington too. I'm gonna go with Washington, and I'm gonna go with Harbaugh going back to the NFL, whether he wins or loses.
Agreed.
I think he's made the decision that he's kind of tired of football people.
They can hand the job to whoever the coach was in his interim.
It was the offensive coordinator.
Yeah, they'll give the job to him, and Harbaugh can go. I don't know where, but somewhere.
Yeah. So I think he's going to leave, whether he wins or loses. If he loses,
the Pac-10 will win a national title in its farewell season.
That's possible. That's very possible.
And everybody wondering why they got rid of the Pac-10. So
yeah, exactly. So, but anyway, to get us back on track, thank all 20 people who watch us. We appreciate it. We very much so. So, for our last show, we gotta have some traveling music, and I hope everyone has a great 2024, and that there is nothing but love and well wishes for everyone. Yeah. I know it's not going to be that way, but that's the way I'd like for it to be.
Happy 2024, yeah.
Yeah, so, all right, we got to have a little traveling music. Yeah, baby. This is Otis.
This is Jerry.
We're gonna let it run just a little bit longer since this is the last one. Oh yeah.
What do we got? Another 8 months.
Yeah.
To return.
Be back in 8 months to everyone. Later.
Yep.